Happy Pi Day, everybody. We'll get started in a couple of minutes. So the official day of spring is not till next week, but it was very spring-like today, and Greenville City Parks, including our park, was very active with people and activities and sunning. So hopefully you had a chance to get out into the weather today. I'm Jeff Jagera. I'm your host for the Cancer Prevention and Wellness Series, sponsored by the Cancer Survivors Park Alliance. Each month, we try to introduce a specific cancer or a prevention technique or recommendations, screening recommendations. But mostly we want to teach people how to live healthy, to get healthy or to stay healthy. And then most of that is with lifestyle recommendations, proper diet and exercise and mind, body and social connections and laughter and all those things. What we do is we mute all of our audience. We do not do that from the idea that we don't want you to be participatory. So if you have questions of our presenters, please put those in the chat feature on Zoom, and we'll be monitoring those and asking our presenters those questions. This session is being recorded, and we will have this up on our website, which is cancersurvivorspark.org. In the next couple of days. And we've been doing this for about 4 years. So there's a library of a number of different topics which you may find of interest. And please, if you find those of interest, please share with friends and family or the people that you feel would get some benefit from that. Tonight, we are really pleased to introduce you to some of our sister support groups in the upstate that are doing good work, and would appreciate your referrals and whatnot. So we're going to have Kamika Duncan from Neighborhood Cancer Connection. She is a licensed professional counselor with that organization. She's going to tell us a little bit about their organization as well as her specific role in that. And also Kipper Anderson, who is the founder and executive director of a unique organization called Let There Be Mom in the upstate. So we're going to kind of take them in sequence. And Kamika, I'm going to go ahead and hand this over to you and let you go through your portion of explaining what you do and what your organization does.
Thank you. So I am Shamika Duncan. I am a licensed professional counselor, and I'm also the mental health counselor here at Neighborhood Cancer Connection. So we are Neighborhood Cancer Connection, formerly known as Cancer Society of Greenville County. Neighborhood Cancer Society of Greenville County was founded by some local residents in 1965. We number one they wanted to differentiate themselves from American Cancer Society, because we are not affiliated with them, although we um, provide resources from their website. We are not affiliated with American Society. So they wanted a local help, a local support for those who are impacted, those who are impacted by cancer. So that's how the organization came to be. We are a 501c3 organization. This is our team. We are a small but mighty and powerful team. We are a team of six, five and a half. And I say that Lisa is our executive director. She is the visionary of Neighborhood Cancer Connection. We also have Nicole. She is the director of operations, but she also oversees, and she also oversees our volunteers as well. Marie and Eleanor. Marie is new to our team. We are glad to have her, but Marie and Eleanor, they are our client specialists. Those are the first people or the first friendly faces that you all will see, that people will see once they enter into our establishment. They do things such as receive and process referrals from the doctors and oncologists. Once clients are referred to us and they come into our organization, they assist them with whatever the needs are. They go over who we are and what we do and what type of support we have available for them. And then we have Maria. She is our bookkeeper, making sure that our financials are all in place. Eleanor also has a specific role as well. We offer support. We offer financial support. So we offer to pay household bills, reimbursement for mileages and things like that. So Eleanor also does that as well. We also have Anijah. He is our intern this year. He's been with us. He does a mirror of things. He helps us with community engagement whenever we need to go out into the community and speak. He also helps us with our website and then anything else that we need within our organization. So we are glad to have Anijah here assisting us as well. And then myself, again, the mental health counselor, and I'll get into a little bit more about what I do, but I provide support for clients who are going through their cancer journey. I do one-on-one sessions, and then I also do, I facilitate the support groups as well. So how do we help? There are a number of things that we do to help the clients who are referred to us and who come through our doors. And one of these things is provide wigs. We provide wigs and turbans and hats for our clients. So this particular portion of how we help, we have a volunteer that normally helps our client with can come in and look through our wigs and see what they need. And we will also have staff members and volunteers as well to assist those particular clients. Next, we also have financial assistance. We have a lovely young lady here who was diagnosed with breast cancer, and she was not able to work, and she has a family. So part of our assistance is to provide financial assistance for those who need it. The client has to be eligible, and it is based on household income. The client would actually schedule an appointment with Eleanor, our client specialist, and then she would go over all of the preliminary information that's needed. And I think if I didn't mention, we do mileage reimbursement as well. So going to and from doctor's appointments, chemotherapy, radiation, and different things like that, we provide that support as well. So our mission, and I was meaning to say that in the beginning, but our mission is connecting people to free and integrative services to meet their emotional needs, any financial burdens, and then to equip them the best way that we can in order through their cancer journey. Here is again Eleanor and Anijah, and then one of our lovely volunteers. Nutrition is one of the major things that annually we spend about $200,000 to provide nutrition for our clients, and that can include ensure or boost different things like that. So that is one of the main things that our client comes into our office for. Their oncologist or their doctor, once they complete their referral, they will list if they need any type of nutrition or disposables. What I mean by disposables are wipes, gloves, anything, bed pads, anything like that. But as far as nutrition, we spend about $200,000 a year or more bringing in nutrition, and we also get donations of that nutrition as well. And this is my portion. Again, a mental health counselor. I provide that one-on-one service. As you can see here, I'm providing group counseling or group support services. Right now, we have four support services, group support services, which includes our breast cancer support group. We have a Thriver support group. We have a patient and caregivers group where the person who is dealing with cancer and going through the cancer journey and their caregiver, I actually combine that group, so we have that group as one group, and then we have a bereavement group. And for that bereavement group, the person does not have to be impacted by cancer. Any type of grief that they're dealing with or bereavement that they're dealing with, they are able to join the grief support group. And for counseling services, you do not have to have a referral. Any other service that we provide, the doctor or oncologist would need to submit a referral, but for our counseling services, no referral is needed. One-on-one sessions can be done in person. I also do them virtually, and I've also had a couple of clients where we had to do phone sessions as well. So there are many options for our clients if they can't get here, if they just, or don't want to get here for whatever reason. Those are some of the counseling services that I specifically offer as well. This is Stephanie Walker. She is not only one of our volunteers, but she is a survivor. She went through our program, and she volunteers with us every week. She is probably one of our main volunteers here. She's normally here on Fridays. And as long as she doesn't have anything else going on in her life at that time, she is here and she is helping. And what our volunteers do is they will act as a client specialist as well. So when clients come in, they will help the clients our wig room. They will help if any type of donations come in. They will help sorting through donations, and also they will help get the nutrition and the wipes, disposables, and all of those things for any of the clients that come in. So they play a big role in NCC, Neighborhood Cancer Connection, and we actually could not do it without them as well. So Stephanie Walker, again, she is a part of our team, and we actually love when she comes in week. Next, we are moving. We are moving. We are building, or in the middle of building a new location, which is literally, I'm actually looking at it right out the window here. It is right next door. And hopefully we are able to move in soon, which means we will be temporarily out of this location because the location where I'm at now will actually be a parking lot. So we will have to temporarily move for about 3.5 months. But we are super excited about our new facility and what we have to offer. Number one, it will be bigger, so we're able to offer more things for our clients. We will have a meditation and a prayer room. We will have a children's area. Definitely upstairs, downstairs elevator, just more room for us to do the great work here in Greenville, South Carolina. So again, we are super, super excited. We cannot wait to get into the new facility. We want everyone to come out and to see it and enjoy it with us. We definitely would love the referrals and love to help as many people as we can. We are very thankful. So we did a capital campaign in order to build the new facility, and that's still going on. But we are definitely excited and we cannot wait to move into our new location. And lastly, we want to make sure that when anyone comes in to see us, that they are just not a number or just not a person. We want to make sure that they are well taken care of. We want to make sure that they get everything that they need. Sometimes when our clients come in, they don't know what they need. They don't know what we offer. All they know is someone told them about NCC, their doctors or oncologist or whomever sent over a referral, and that they're here. So we have our wonderful staff to make sure that it's just not a transaction. Once they come in the door, to make sure that we are walking along with them in their journey and that we are here to support them in any way that so again, I am Shamika Duncan, licensed professional counselor, mental health counselor here at Neighborhood Cancer Connection. I love the community engagement part of my job. I love getting out and making sure that people know about us. There's so many people that are dealing with and going through this cancer journey, and we want to be able to support anyone that we can. So if I am able to assist, please do not hesitate to reach out. We are located at 113 Mills Avenue, which is right near downtown Greenville. So we are here and available to assist those who need it. Thank you so
Great.
much.
Thanks, Jamaica. That was great. And obviously, you're going through somewhat of a rebrand because
Yes,
throughout my professional career, this was the Cancer Society of Greenville County, and I know you reach out now into Pickens County.
we do.
And
Greenville and Pickens.
so I think that makes it such that we don't want to have a geographic description of it anymore. But how's that going as far as name recognition is concerned?
It definitely is a process going through the rebranding. We, again, it's same vision, same mission, just a different name. So it has its challenges, but we also are, trying to make sure that people know that, yeah, we were Cancer Society of Greenville. Now we're Neighborhood Cancer Connection, and that, we're trying to reach as many people as possible. But it has its challenges, but I think we are pressing through.
Getting through it, yeah. How long has it been Neighborhood Cancer Connections now?
I
A
think
year?
maybe a year and a half, 2 years.
Oh, wow. Okay,
Yes.
great. So Tamika, if you can stop sharing your slides, I'll keep asking questions. I've been in that room that you showed for your counseling sessions, and I hope you get something as nice in the new place
Yes.
because that
Yes.
was just a really nice with those big windows. And I hate to see that building go. It had a lot of nice aspects to it, but I'm glad that you are outgrowing it with your reach. Um, so awesome.
Thank
So
you so much.
we'll go ahead and let Kipra talk about her organization, and then we'll kind of work on having a roundtable. One of the things I wanted to mention is that during that 3.5, 4 months that Jake is out of service, hopefully she can have some of her counseling sessions over in the Center for Hope and Healing at the Cancer Survivors Park. So
Yes.
not a parking lot, a pretty good space to look out. So this is a big story.
Let's go.
Let's go.
All right. Well, hello, everybody. My name is Kipra Anderson. I am the founder and executive director of Let There Be Mom. We too function on a small staff, which I guess is just what happens with nonprofits. we have just 2 other employees. They both work part-time. We have Jennifer Street and Nikki Cox. Jennifer is our volunteer coordinator. She handles everything volunteer, as well as we have an online auction, and Jennifer is responsible for getting all of the items for that auction and setting that up for us. And then Nikki Cox, she is our office coordinator. Her main goals are to send out our correspondence with our donors, our tax acknowledgement letters, and she is our bookkeeper. So we are just thrilled to have both of them. They are amazing ladies and really help with Let There Be Mom and our mission, which is our mission. We exist to help local moms and dads who've been diagnosed with life-threatening illnesses to set up their legacy for their children. All of the families we serve, they live in the upstate. They all have at least one child under the age of 19, and it's mom or dad that has the life-threatening illness. We do verify with their physicians that they have this life-threatening illness. I'd say about 87% of the families that we serve are dealing with some form of cancer. And other than that, we see things like ALS or organ failure, and needing transplants types of things because of their organs, obviously. So that's our mission. We started in 2007, and the way that people apply for services with Let There Be Mom is directly on our website. So we get a lot of referrals from physicians or hospices, friends, neighbors now, people who just have heard about our organization based on fundraisers or marketing that we're doing. But we do send everybody directly to our website to apply. It's very clear on our home screen where they would do that. They just fill out an application, and once we receive that, we correspond via email with them with additional forms that we need. They send those back to us, and then we collect their physician's signature saying that they do indeed have a life-threatening illness. So back in 2007, we served our first mom. Amanda Moon holds a very dear and special place in our heart for being that first mom. Amanda was just 27. She had a 3-year-old Madison. We went in and interviewed Amanda, as we do with all of our families now. We interview the mom or dad that we're working with. So that is big criteria for us. The person has to be able to participate in our interview. So, which that lasts about 3 hours. So it's a good time for us to get to know them. And we interview mom or dad, find out about their life story, their talents, their hobbies, what it is they want their kids to know, their family traditions. And then we brainstorm on ways that we can put that in tangible forms for their children. This ends up being about 12 to 15 gifts for each child, all, of course, at no cost to the family. Now, at this point in 2024, we're spending about $4,000 on each child to make these things happen.
Wow.
The things we found out about Amanda, you can see in this picture with her little 3-year-old painting her hand. Amanda was a cake decorator, a very accomplished one. So one of the things we wanted to pass on to her daughter, Madison, was just her mom's love of baking and cakes. So you see in the other picture, this is Madison grown up. Madison took that picture with us in 2022 when she was 18, and she is holding that plate that she and her mom. So in the little picture, she's painting her mom's hand, and you see her mom's blue handprint on that cake there. So that's a cake pedestal plate. And then the plates behind her are plates that she and her mom and her dad painted, so that she has kind of this dessert starter set, if you will, as one of the things that were passed on to her. You obviously see a big photograph there. We had a photo session done, just various different things. She has scrapbooks made. She's sitting on a quilt that was made out of her mom's clothing. So different sentimental things that we do. And here are some more examples of projects that we've recently been working on. So in the top, at least it's on my top left, you'll see a wallet. It's a front pocket wallet that was made for a boy out of his dad's shoes. Next to that is a little keychain. His dad's a golfer, and that keychain is made from his dad's putter cover. The bourbon glass you see there, this is part of a toast that a dad that we're working with, he wrote for his son for his wedding day. And it's a line of the toast. So he's getting that with a special bourbon, a bottle of bourbon that his dad had bought for him years ago, I think when he was born. But we had that, and the toast is framed. So that's a wedding day gift. You see the blue cufflinks there. Those are made for a son, obviously, for his wedding day. His mom collects rocks. And so this was one of the rocks that she had. It was a blue lapis rock that she got. And so we had those made for her son. And then there's pendants made for her daughters as well that they'll receive. There's more keychains at the bottom. I believe those were made from a dad's belt, and they're engraved in his handwriting. If you can, I don't know if you can see that with the glare or not. And then this tablecloth that you see here. So this family, they love their tradition of celebrating, football. So they do tailgates at their house every weekend during football season. And so they wanted to pass that tradition on to their daughters. So they had us pick out the special tablecloth and have it embroidered. But again, the children are getting between 12 and 15 gifts. And here are just some more items. And everybody's legacy looks different. These are different things that we've done out of clothing. These stuffed animals up here and a quilt made out of a dad. That's all the dad's dress shirts. And you see the bow ties there. Those are for the boys for their high school graduation. There's a dad's recipe on this cutting board for his son when he gets his first home. And then this family here, they're all holding these silver thumbprints. That is our signature item we do for every single family. They all do get the thumbprint charms. Everything else is just kind of based on their hobbies and traditions. So again, we don't charge the families anything. We rely heavily on our own internal fundraising, donations from corporations. A lot of times families will leave memorial donations to us, but we have several things going on right now. We have mulch for mom. You can order mulch on our website, and our organization receives $3 per cubic yard that are donated from Mark's Mulch, which is wonderful. We've been doing that since 2020. Now, a lot of people wanted to redo their yards in 2020 while they were home staring. So now it's
apropos to a question, right?
Yeah, it's a great fundraiser. We have a group of student ambassadors. I'll show you a photo of them in just a slide or two, but their fundraiser, or one of their each year, is they have to come up with a fundraiser for us. So this year it is Stop, Shop, and Stroll. It's a spring market. It will be on Saturday, April 27th in downtown Simpsonville. So we have over 70 vendors. So they're crafters, makers, bakers, growers that are all coming out, and they will be setting up shop at what was Simpsonville United Methodist, now I guess Methodist Church of Simpsonville. They'll be out there and from 10 to 2 that day. So come join us. You can get some Mother's Day shopping done, or end of the year gifts, graduation gifts, or, something for yourself. Then we do a silent auction, which I mentioned earlier. Jennifer is in charge of that. She has probably a couple hundred gifts already waiting, or prizes to get loaded onto the website for that silent auction, which will begin on May 6th. Dine Out for Mom is our signature fundraiser, which happens each year in October. This year it will be October 24th. Last year we had 174 restaurants join us. All the restaurants donate 20% of their sales on the one particular day, on Dine Out for Mom Day. Again, this year, October 24th. You'll just go to our website. You'll find out where to eat. You will not cook that day. You will start at breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, desserts. Stock your freezer, buy gift cards. The restaurants are so generous in giving us that 20%. And they also all donate a gift card to us, which turns out to be the grand prize in that Dine Out for Mom raffle. So the winner this past year won 174 restaurant gift cards. So you probably should look up their name, because they could take you out to eat, because they're doing that all the time. In reaching our community, of course, we have our staff there in the middle. It's Nikki, then myself, then Jennifer in the middle, and then the rest are board members, which meet and keep us on track and do all the things they're supposed to do with a nonprofit and to make us successful. Then we have this group of student ambassadors. This year, they are 21 local high school girls. They're all juniors and seniors. They serve as the liaison between our organization and their schools. So we meet with them monthly. We have different people from the community come in and teach them different life and business skills just to develop their public speaking, their fundraising skills, how to write a resume. They learn about the Enneagram. They've learned about proper dress. They've learned about self-defense, all different types of things that we think will be beneficial to them. But as soon as they learn the mission of Let There Be Mom and have some public speaking lessons, they then have to go back to their elementary school and their middle school, and of course their high school, and they speak to the staff about the organization because, of course, teachers can be the first line and other staff at the school of students who know that, that their families are going through these life-threatening illnesses. So they can refer those families to us. And then we have a big team of volunteers, which we cannot do all that we do without them. So that is really our organization, and I'll stop sharing there. Okay.
So in 2007, you contacted the National Let There Be Mom organization and decided you wanted to have a franchise here locally.
No. No. In 2006, the Lord laid this on my heart. There is not another organization around like Let There Be Mom, which I quickly discovered. So I was dusting a picture of my two girls. I have two girls and a boy. In 2006, they were 4, 6, and 8. And I was dusting a picture of my girls, and I just was overwhelmed with the thought of what would they remember if something happened to me. So I researched a business that would do this, and I couldn't find one. And I looked for a nonprofit or how to start a nonprofit and decided I wasn't doing that because I was so busy with these little ones, everybody's room mom, everybody's team mom, all the things. And so I put the idea out of my head. And a couple weeks later, I was at church and a pastor said, "Is God asking you to do something that you don't know how to do?" And I said, "No, I'm good." So I really meant that because I was so busy with the kids and just kind of felt that was that. And a couple weeks later, another pastor said, "Is God asking you to do something that you don't know how to do?" And my husband said, "Why is he looking at you?" And I was like, "I don't know." And so I prayed. He had us pray. He said, "You need to pray right now." Just the whole church praying, not me specifically. But
Right.
So I did. And I said, "Lord, if you want me to do something, you're going to have to tell me exactly what it is, because I'm not tracking here." And the next day, I was volunteering, working at the Holiday House at Oakview Elementary. And a mom walked in and sat down. And the moms that were in charge said, "Why is she just sitting there not helping us?" I said, "I don't know." And she asked me if I could get her child out of class several times. And I was like, I definitely cannot do that. So I just kept shopping with children. And it turns out her son came. She had permission to shop for all the items she needed to with him. And she did that. When she left, the lady started crying. I said, "What's wrong?" They said, "She's sick." And I was like, "Oh, okay, I'll go check on her." So I go outside and she's talking to a teacher and they hug. And the teacher goes in the room, and this mom turned around and collapsed to my arms and said, "The doctors have run out of things to do, and I don't know what to do, but I think this is my last Christmas with my boys." And I was like, "I don't know what to do." And we exchanged numbers, and I went home and played Russian roulette with my Bible just in case I wasn't. And, I turned to a verse in 2 Kings, and it said, "I've heard your prayers. I've seen your tears." I'm like going down. It said, "This is the Lord's sign to you." I'm like, wow. Starting a nonprofit is really hard. I didn't know if God was knew all that. So I decided I would pick a different verse. So I, open, close, pointed to a different verse, and I was in Isaiah, and it said, "I've heard your prayers. I've seen your tears. This is the Lord's sign to you." It was the exact same recap. I was like, wow. So called my husband. He said, "You need to get started." And then, as the Lord would have it, when he's doing these things, he put lots of people in my path, including you, Dr. Jaguar. So yes, I think we met through a mutual friend, Kathy Shepard.
Right.
Brought me to the groundbreaking for the hospice house, McCall
Right.
Hospice House. And that's where we met. And just the whole process of starting a nonprofit. And, at the time, the IRS said it would take 3 to 27 months for approval. And Let There Be Mom was approved in less than a month's time. I mailed it on my daughter's birthday, March 7th, and it was approved on April 4th. And God just kept moving things like this and orchestrating and putting people in the right place. And I know, cancer centers where you were at the time was so generous to us, being a great financial sponsor. And that happened on my dad's birthday. I'm remembering these days because they were so significant. And it was amazing and really prepared us to serve Amanda Moon, our first mom. So
our executive director is saying, why can't you go national?
I see him. Hi. Hi, Tom. Yes. So we are going to end up in a very similar situation, I hope soon. We're looking for space because we're renting, but we're looking for a space to call our own, and that will give us some room, some growth, because we will need to house both the Greenville and then as we start to expand. This is our plan. And I always said, as soon as my kids get out of the house, and here we go. They're calling my bluff in June. So
we're going to get into a roundtable, but you do an initial intake with patient and a family, and you say that the majority of these are more than life-threatening. They're they're kind of terminal. And what did you do? Tamika's a licensed professional counselor, and what did you do to prepare yourself for that kind of intake and the questions to ask and the things that you wanted to determine to help these people?
I'm going to put it all right back on the Lord on this one, because I really did. I had an advertising background. I had never been around anybody who was sick. I was very nervous going in to see Amanda, our first mom.
Right.
When that phone call from hospice, I literally thought about calling y'all and giving all the money back. I was like, I don't know what to do. But the Lord went with me and before me, and I don't know. It has been very natural. I don't think the families that are calling us in, they're calling us in for a very specific reason. Counseling isn't one of those, although this is very therapeutic for them to go through this and go through these steps. And we've learned that over the years. I didn't know that would be the case, but it is. But I'm not there to be their counselor. I am not qualified to be a counselor. I have no training in that. We certainly suggest that they get counseling, anticipatory grief counseling, if that's, where they are, and follow-up grief counseling if they need that. We do have survival stories. It is a life-threatening illness. We don't use the word terminal when we're describing, because we do say life-threatening. We are there right alongside of them, praying for a miracle, hoping that we do all these gifts for their children and give them to them, and they are alive to give these to the children themselves. That is our ultimate hope, of course, as is theirs. Not always the plan, not always the case. We have a handful of survival stories over the years. But again, I am not a trained counselor. So I refrain from giving any advice other than many times they'll say, yes, okay, we know you're not trained, but you've seen this. What have you, I'm like, okay, I can tell you some things that I've seen work, not as far as medical treatment, but just, things to do with kids or, whatever.
Well, this is what we're trying to establish with presenting you all, because you see an ecosystem here of, one group can refer to another group. So if you recommend counseling, Tamika's your girl.
Right.
And, other ways that we can kind of work together. So we put together an Upstate Cancer Network, which is a lot of different, usually nonprofit support organizations. And as we get to know more of them and do more programmatic stuff, hopefully we can be kind of the clearinghouse to allow patients to go to the right thing, right, going forward. So let me just ask both of you, and Jamaica, I'll let you go first. You have volunteers, both of you have organizations that volunteer are kind of your lifeblood. How do you get those volunteers? Are those self-referred? Do they come in through the door, or do you actively seek them?
A little bit of all of the above. A lot of them are self-referred. A lot, when we go out and do community engagement, they hear about us, and then people ask how they can be involved. So it's a lot of word of mouth. It's a lot of our volunteers are some who have been through our program as well, and then some who have been just impacted by cancer and they want give back, and literally they do a search and we pop up, and they go to our website and complete a volunteer application. It comes over to us, and then Nicole, our director of operations, follow up with them. If it's a great fit, they come in and have like a mini orientation, and figure out and choose which days they want to come in and volunteer, and then they sit with either another volunteer that is already doing the work, or they sit with one of our client specialists, because technically they're going to be doing some of the same things that our staff does as well. So,
Do they have much patient interaction in your organization?
but as much patient interaction.
Yeah.
Yes, they do. So it's almost like our volunteers are the Marie and Eleanor, the client specialists. They make phone calls to clients that are already here. They do donations, and they make sure donations are separated out. And then whatever the client needs that they can do, they will do.
Okay. Kipra, I know you showed a lot of your volunteers, and I love the ambassador program that you put together. I mean, you've got unbelievable ideas. Is it kind of organic how your volunteers come to you as well?
Yes. So most of our volunteers are used for events that we have. So, and we have a strong database of volunteers, and of course, social media helps with all of this. And we have a lot of opportunities for students with it being based primarily for events. If they're utilized in other ways, it's typically to help with a family's project. They're not really interacting with the family. We did try that early on. And there's just with us going to families, and it's a different process and a different timeline and time wheel and commitment level. So it didn't exactly work for the volunteers to be in charge of a family. We found that out early.
Okay.
But it does work for them. Let's say, for example, I have a dad, a cook. Oh my goodness, he cooks so much. And so he has a pile of recipes he wants to pass on to his son, but he wants those organized. And some are scratched on paper, some are ripped out of a magazine. It's this hodgepodge of recipes that he makes. And so we were given all those recipes, and now we have volunteers who have sorted them and put them into categories and typed them all up. So now that we can present them in a nice book for his son. So that's an example of how volunteers could be used for a project, or they could wrap presents for families, because all of our families, they do, unless they request otherwise, but for the most part, they receive their gifts wrapped and labeled. So it would say, to Emma for high school graduation, love mom. To Emma on your wedding day, love mom. So someone has to wrap all of those.
Yeah.
So the families have those.
So I know, Jamaica, you talked a little bit about self-referral, that you get a lot of your clients via self-referral. How does that happen? Do they have to go to their website? How do they find out about you?
Yeah, so either via our website or from someone else, from volunteers that are already here. And yeah, they just go to nccgreenville.org. There's a place on there for volunteer information.
And you do grief counseling as well?
I do, yes.
Yeah. And Kipra, do you have any follow-up with these people?
sometimes they end up volunteering with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, so sometimes the families we serve, you know, in the case of whether, you know, their surviving spouse or if they get their miracle, then they are right there serving with us as well. Their kids are serving with us. There are some that we really have stayed in touch with over the years just because of their connection, and they're always volunteering and showing up. But there isn't really, there's not a system in place that we are checking on them. I mean, they move and, you know, different things happen. So we're not keeping track of all their gifts and having to find them through the years or anything like that. And since we don't offer grief counseling at this point, then that's, yeah, not something.
Great. So when you're going through this, and obviously the Neighborhood Cancer Connection, formerly Cancer Society of Greenville, since 1965, I think there's been obviously sustaining power for both of y'all. I know, Tamika, you've just been there since October. Have you seen a growth in your practice since you've been there from the start to where you are now? Is that happening month to month?
Yes, it depends. People again come and go, stop and go. It really depends, but there has been a growth, and as we are taking the initiative to make sure that we contact clients that like if we get a referral, because sometimes there's a miscommunication with our partners, like we'll get a referral and the referral will just sit because at the end of the day the client needs to come in and then something will start to happen. But we have taken on the initiative of, we get a referral, we'll let it sit for a little bit. If not, we'll make sure that we are contacting, and our volunteers do it, or our client specialists. We make sure that we're contacting the clients and saying, hey, like, we received a referral, these are the resources that's available to you. When would you like to come in? So we try to make sure that there's not a lot of getting people.
Kipra, from 2007 to 2024, what's the client load? Has it been kind of a steady growth, or is, I guess I asked the question about COVID. You said you sold more mulch, but did that affect your business?
So yeah, that's funny. We since COVID, we've seen a huge increase in certain types of cancers. I will say that, and it feels like we are having more people during COVID. As far as how that affected it, we typically meet face to face with everybody. We had 2 meetings on Zoom. The rest said, it doesn't matter, just come on over,
Right.
Kind of thing. So we weren't, COVID itself didn't stop us. We've served almost 200 families in this time, and it's, 457 children, I think. More moms than dads, 118 moms, 70 something dads, kind of thing. So it's, it's a growth. But it fluctuates. I mean, one year we might have 9 people, the next year we may have 28 people.
Right.
It's just a lot. It doesn't feel like, that doesn't sound like a lot of number. Like, you're like, oh, 9 or 28, but 28 people can have 100 children times 15 projects.
Right.
So
Right. That's
a lot going on.
Right.
Yeah.
So you guys are dealing with people that are going through tough times, and describe to me a good day. And on the other side of this, I'm going to have you describe to me a bad day. And that's the whole thing. I mean, it's your clinical practice. It's your, running a nonprofit. Can you keep it afloat? That sort of thing. Well, what's your good day, Jamaica?
I would say a good day is steady traffic, like people coming in, like people know about us. They're coming in, they're getting the services and the resources that they need. It's just a steady flow. And I guess I wouldn't call it a bad day, but a bad day would probably be like, where are the people? Like we know that there's people out there with a need.
Right.
where are they? Why are they not coming? So I guess it's twofold.
And, if your message to them and I mean, it's resonating, you're making a difference in how they see the future and that sort of thing. So, yeah, I would imagine that you have more good days than bad. I hope so. Anyway, Kipra?
Um, the perfect day, meeting a new family. So that typically happens in their home. Meeting a new family, coming up with having a great brainstorming session with them, coming up with ideas that they are super excited about, coming back to the office and actually being able to find crafters who can come up, make those things. Because sometimes, ideas come up and we're like, oh, I'm not really sure how that's going to happen. But then being able to find someone who can do it and then having an unexpected donation just show up. That's a perfect day.
Go to the mailbox and say, "Wow,
Wow.
there
Yes.
finally, God, will return on my investment here." Is there a particular patient, Tamika, that has resonated with you that you really feel like that interaction made a big difference in their lives, and this is why you got all that training to do what you do, and I'm making a difference?
Yes. Actually it's a duo. It's a husband and a wife, and of course the wife is the caregiver. And I think what resonates with this particular couple is I think their faith is like, we know things are going on. I know things are happening to me within my body. I'm going to chemo. I'm doing radiation. It's not working. I'm getting bad news after bad news after bad news, but I'm holding on to this faith that I have. And they're that way 100% of the time that I like, oh, Shamika, I got a bad report today. The report wasn't good. The PET scan it wasn't good. The scan wasn't good, but I'm still holding on to my faith. Oh, or I'm not going to allow our doctor to put a stop on my life. I'm going to hold on to this faith. And it's like that every single time I meet with them. And they are constantly in here. They're constantly in my support group. So I think that would be the couple that resonates with me.
Yeah, I always told patients that you guys are counseling them because you don't die figuratively before you die literally, and so it's not a give up option. So, Kipra, what's your favorite? I mean, you obviously it could have been your first one, but you may have had one subsequent to that. And I also have an idea for your future. And I'm not playing God here, but with all these different arts and crafts, I mean, people make cookbooks all the time. You could do all these things, ideas into a book, and
Yeah.
I think that would be an arts and crafts book that people would seek, especially if there was a story associated with it.
Well, I'll get to writing.
Yeah, yeah. Like when you have time, just do it on the weekends.
Yeah. So yeah, every family is special, right? And everybody leaves a little bit of themselves with you and in your heart. I will say one of the really cool things my husband had said, he goes, you're not going to realize the impact that you're having on these families until years down the road, is what he would say. Well, the second family we served, the little girl was 10. And when she was 20, she became our first intern. And she would go with me to families' homes and, just all the things. She was doing all the stuff. But listening to her talk, and she made a video for us. And in that video, she's like, I go to my Let There Be Mom box. And we were doing things a little different then. I mean, she was the second family. So, but she's like, I go to that box. And she was like, and this is the only way I have to introduce people to my mom. And she said, this is how I get to tell my mom's story, is through these scrapbooks and these, just the various things that she has in this box. And so she's like, the organization gave me that. She's like, without that, I wouldn't have it. And I'm like, oh, there it is. It was a 10-year span, but like, hey, that means a lot. And so, yeah, so it's really cool. And, you know, some of these kids probably don't even know. I mean, we don't put our name on anything, so they have no idea where it's coming from. They're just getting gifts, you know, that say love mom or love dad throughout their life. So they might not know we exist. I'd say, you know, maybe half of them have no idea, which is just fine too, because it really is supposed to be from mom or dad.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, both of you are remarkable. We appreciate your time and being here and telling the message of your organizations. Any last way to contact you, or any other thoughts that you just want to plug your organization, or before we go? Jamaica?
Well, again, Neighborhood Cancer Connection, our website, nccgreenville.org, 113 Mill Avenue. We will be here until April 1st, until the end of March.
What's the
There were-
new address?
527 Mills, I believe. We're just down the street, but we have to do things a little different because it's a lot smaller. So, but we will definitely get the word out and make sure that people have what they need.
Well, good luck. I hope you get the new space. And Kipra?
Yes. We're at lettherebemom.org. You know, go there. You can find out all the things that we have going on and send anyone that you know that would qualify for services to our organization. It's just important to know we want to get them early, not late in their illness, because they do have to be able to do that interview with us. That's so important. That's what makes a bad day, when we have to tell families.
Yeah, too
We
late.
can do the service. Yeah.
Well, thank you for all you do. So next month we have a liver surgeon, a liver transplant surgeon, who's going to tell us about detox in 2024, how to maximize your liver health. So we'll be there for that topic. And as is usually the case, I end with a couple of poems. This is from Blackwater Woods by Mary Oliver. And I think it's apropos to what you guys are doing. To live in this world, you must be able to do three things: to love what is mortal, to hold it against your bones, knowing your own life depends on it, and when the time comes to let it go, let it go. And then Anne Lamont this is a more hopeful thing. Hope begins in the dark. The stubborn hope that if you just show up and try to do the right thing, dawn will come. You wait and watch and work. You don't give up. So from the Cancer Survivors Park Alliance, hope to see you at the park. Spring is in the air, and you all have a great evening. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.